All right, Shalom. This is Harawan by Yasha'Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Call Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakakwadash, Ma'amah. That belong to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim and children that believe sincerely in truth around the four corners of the earth. I want to go into this topic dealing with the Seminole Wars. It says the fight for Florida. Now, what it was is you had what you call the Seminole Indians. And the Seminole Indians make up the tribe of Reuben, all right, which was the firstborn of the Northern Kingdom. Now, well, actually, the firstborn. Now, the word Seminole is just a word that means wild man, all right. But what they call the Muskogee tribe. I can't probably saying it wrong for Muskogee, but yeah, the Seminole Wars, man, happened in 1817. All right. I think you had 3 rounds of it: the first, second, and third Seminole Wars. You know, where you had the northern tribe and the southern tribe fighting together against Esau, or looking out for each other, hiding each other. All right. And they were caught up in the middle of a battle between the United States Army, the British Army, and the Spanish Army. All right. At that time, they called it Spanish Florida. See that? Because Britain had Florida, and they sold it. They traded it to Spain. All right. I think it was over Havana. They had Havana, and they gave up Havana for Florida. Right. Now, once Spain got Florida, they went into debt to America, the North, the United States armies. They went into debt to the Americas, I think $5 million, and they gave up Florida for $5 million. All right. And they call Florida a flower land, but it's nothing but green grass here. You know? So anyway, so now just kind of give you an outline or a foundation on what's going on here. And these are the times we're in to where people celebrating Thanksgiving, celebrating these holidays, and they're celebrating the slaughter of the Native American Indians, the Seminole Indians, the Taino Indians, right? All these northern tribes. And also you so-called Negroes of the southern tribes, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. A lot of us were scattered over here as well. All right. Through what you call slavery, us going into slavery. We were running from the slave masters and ran further south. We ran from the north, we run south. All right. So I want to read a story today about this this Reubenite general named Osceola. And I don't know where it's gonna go. I just want to vibe through the spirit. And first I'm gonna get a scripture. All right, this is this is the word Reuben in the Hebrew, and it says Ra Waban. All right, Ra Waban, and it means behold a son. All right, behold a son. He was the firstborn of Jacob. It says the eldest son of Jacob by Leah. The tribe descended from Reuben, the territory inhabited by the tribe of Reuben. So Reuben has his own territory. If you're a Seminole Indian, if you're a Negro, Latino, Native American, we have our own land on this earth, and the universe is about to be given to us. So that, you know, but it's just crazy to be scattered, but to know that you have your own plot of land upon this earth. All right. I myself, I believe I'm from the tribe of Judah or Benjamin. Just because my father, he came in through St. Augustine, but he could easily be a Seminole. Who knows? But so hey, anyway, I'm just keep reading. It says, behold, a son. So that's the tribe of Reuben. All right. So there's prophecies set in place upon Reuben. You know, all the tribes of Israel, we fell under the curses, and we fell under the hand of Esau in different punishment, different fashions of hell upon this earth. All right. This is Genesis 49. I'm going to start from 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. All right. So these are things that befell Reuben in the last days. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hear unto Israel your father. Reuben, so he put kind of like a prophetic curse and a blessing upon Israel. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might and beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity. All right. The excellency of dignity and the excellency of power. So Reuben, Seminole Indians are a strong tribe, man. And they were just like Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all the northern southern kingdoms of Israel. They're all strong in their nations, and we were taken down by Esau, right? Whom at that time they called the so-called white man, but they're not white, they're red, and they're Edom. It says, unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, right? Because the Lord put Reuben, Seminole Indians, in an unstable state, right? Even today, a lot of the Seminole northern tribes have been pushed over into what you call Oklahoma or Midwest by Esau. And a lot of them stayed in Seminole, Florida. A lot of the Seminole Indians stood their ground in honor. You see that? Or in dignity. And that's how the scriptures speak of that they would a tribe of dignity. But they will be unstable as water, man. All right? Because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defilest it, he went up to my couch, right? Since Reuben defiled the bed of his father, and then of Jacob, then the blessing was taken from him to be the firstborn. It wasn't about the lineage, you know, the order anymore. The order was set up different. The Lord changed the order, right? Through the blessing fell upon Joseph and his two children, Ephraim and Manasseh. And that's how Ephraim became the first tribe, the top tribe. All right, Manasseh, the Cubans. But Reuben, you know, they were supposed to be in the lead, but the Lord used Ephraim instead. All right. And it's even written in history that Ephraim was the tribe that led most of the northern tribe over here to the what you call Puerto Rico or the Americas today. All right, led them through from the Middle East. So there are prophecies upon the tribe of Reuben, and it says what? Just like it said, Gad, a troop shall overtake him, but he shall overcome him at the last. There's prophecies upon all of us, all right, for us to fall and be risen back up. But briefly, let me get this. Deuteronomy 33:6. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few. All right, so there are many Seminole Indians upon the earth. All right, Esau throw it in their face all the time. The Seminoles, or the Redskins. You know, you have you know, these different cartoons, right? And where they throw it in the northern tribe's face, how Esau took them down in movies and shit like that. And they try to make the northern tribes look like what they call savages, and they felt that they had to civilize them. All right, so they set all types of unrighteous treaties and traps for our people, man, and slaughtered our people, especially with Andrew Jackson in around 1819. So the scriptures say, "Let Reuben live, man." So at the end of the day, Reuben is going to live, and Esau doesn't have that type of prophetic speaking upon them. That their prophetic speaking is that Esau is going to be cut off in the end. Reuben is written that he's going to be raised up and made many in the last days. All right, because all the destruction and the hell that's coming upon this earth and the heavy load is being held back until all the tribes are woken up, man, and the prophecies are fulfilled that are written upon our nation for us to fall and for us to receive blessings in the end and favor and the promise. This is Revelations 7:1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their forehead. All right. So I'm going to skip down. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. And one of those tribes that I'm focusing on today is who? Where is it at? Right here. Probably looking right over it. All right. So it says, verse 5, of the tribe of Judah was sealed 12,000. And it's crazy because they're 2 of the main tribes that was fighting side by side besides Issachar during the Spanish Wars. All right, Spanish Florida and the Mexican army. You know, they were fighting together in those wars, man. All right, the first, second, third Spanish War. Now, it says, of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Gad was sealed 12,000. Excuse me. So you have Gad, Reuben, and Judah. There's going to be 12,000 men standing in solidarity upon this earth that are from those tribes in these last days. All right, an innumerable multitude. Right here it says that. Verse 9, and after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So the children of Reuben are going to get it lifted up. All right. And all the hell that was put on them, the Lord going to bless them. Okay. And they're going to be a great multitude. That's why he said, let Reuben live. All right. All right. This is a book called Native American Heroes. And I have it right here in front of me. And I'm going to read like 2 pages from it. Maybe 3. And if you could bear with me, man, you'll hear the story of a brother named Osceola. All right. Osceola, right here. And he was a Seminole, a Reubenite. All right. Now he could have been anybody, you know, we were scattered, so, but he was most likely a Reubenite. They call him a Seminole. All right. And it says Native American Heroes. And this is what I read to my children. You know, you might play Superman, Incredible Hulk, let them know about spiritual power, and Marvel characters, but those go back to Greek idols. We're the real superheroes, and where heroes go back to what? Judges or gods. All right. During the times when the Lord raised up judges, before 1150 BC, with people like Samson and such, the Lord would raise up judges and heroes before He gave us prophets like Samuel and kingly priests like King David and Solomon. All right. So you had a person named Anne McGovern, and the book was originally called The Defenders. The Defenders, man. All right. Why? Because they were the defenders of this land. They weren't the offenders, the one that stole it. They were the defenders. So they were the victims. And anywhere there's a crime, there has to be a victim involved. And Esau, who they called the white man at that time, were not the victims. They were the what? The criminals. That's what the word crimson, red. Same thing. They're the criminals, man. And that's why criminals don't want you speaking about their crimes, throwing it back in their face. That's why they want to get rid of us and get rid of the history. All right, this guy here name is Osceola. And some people differ. Some historians differ when they say he lived 1804 to 1835. But the focus is the wars, the Second Seminole Wars from 1835 to 1838, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So he was involved in the Second Seminole Wars. Now, he was a Seminole, which would be a Reubenite. But then you had people like this. All right. This brother here, he fought in the Second Seminole Wars as well. And his name was what? John Horse. All right. He fought with the Seminole tribes against Esau. And then he switched over when he joined what? The Mexican army. All right. Wait, wrong one. Sorry about it. So he joined the Mexican army when he went towards the west of America. So, all right. So this is John Horse. And he stayed with the Seminole tribes, and a lot of Jake, the northern tribe or southern tribe, would be Judah, Benjamin, Levi. A lot of them were scattered over here, running from slavery. All right, in the 1800s. There's a little something on John Horse. All right, so our people were in a different mindset back then in the 1800s, man. These idiots celebrating Thanksgiving, which was the slaughter of the North American Indians, the tribe of Gad. All right, like the capstone for Esau. So I'm gonna read this. It says, John Horse, he was born 1812 to 1882. All right. So it says, so he was about, 70 years old when he died. It says black Seminole leader. So he was a Judite or a Benjamite or Levite, but most likely probably Judah or Benjamin. He helped renew resistance in the Second Seminole War with 2 dramatic escapes in 1837. All right, so he was fighting in that same war with Osceola, all right, the Seminoles. Served as a U.S. Army scout in Florida, helped negotiate the surrender of more than 500 Native Americans in 1838. So we were fighting to free each other. All right, just like in the Underground Railroad, which was a system that was put in place for the children of Israel to escape hardcore slavery. Some of us escaped to the West Indians, to Mexico, deeper into Florida with the Seminoles, all right, and up into the north. It says led the led the largest mass slave escape in U.S. history from Oklahoma to Mexico, and that's when he joined the Mexican Army. 1849, 1850. Found free black settlements in Oklahoma. 1849. All right, that's when they were promising free land and all that over there in Oklahoma. And Mexico, 1851, and which that was a trap to put our people on reservations. Secured the communal title for the black Seminoles to their land grant in Mexico, where descendants still live today. All right, what you're looking at here is Osceola. All right, the chief of the Seminole tribe at that time in that area, and what he's doing is he's stabbing the paper. They were handing him a pen. The U.S. Army was handing him a pen to make a deal with him. But he said, this is the only covenant, the only deal I will make with the white man. That's what he called him at the time. Talking about Esau. And he stabbed his knife into the contract, into the paper. So he's basically saying nothing but war. You never make peace. Never sign a deal with your enemies. All right, that's how Esau took over everything, through their paperwork. You know, fine lines. They say the devil's in the details, right? The deception. So, all right, so I'm gonna read a little bit about this brother here and some of his statements. It says, Native American Heroes, that's the name of the book. It says, tells the exciting and tragic stories of 3 Native American leaders who fought bravely for their people's freedom. All right, those 3 leaders. One is Osceola, Tecumseh, and Cochise. All right. Now it says, Native American leaders who fought bravely for their people's freedom. And just like today, the leaders of our nation, the children of Israel, the hopeful elect, are fighting for our people's freedom spiritually. All right. And then physically we'll be liberated as well. But it starts in the mind first, liberation. It says, get their people's freedom and their right to live on their own lands. The battles took place in the Florida swamps and in the Midwest and in the Western Plains at a time when the United States was expanding rapidly. Lands were seized and thousands of people were killed or taken captive in the name of progress, man. Just in the name of progress, for them pushing their agenda, their dream, their device called the United States, which is all a setup for America to become what? The great whore, where a lot of blood was shed. This is Habakkuk 2 and 2. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that they may run that readeth it. All right, so we read the scriptures today and we run the race toward the kingdom. All right, pushing his word, making laps, going over the same topics over and over, you know, like the march around Jericho to make the walls fall, tear down their defense or their offense, which is what? The mental slaughter of our people, spiritual slaughter. So our job is to tear down, our job is to what? Our weapons are not carnal, but spiritual, all right? And mighty, through the pulling down of strongholds, man, mental, spiritual strongholds in this place. All right. So verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, right? So the prophecies, even about the 12 tribes of Israel is going to speak at the end of them being exalted and lifted up and being renewed, refreshed, and getting revenge on their enemies. But at the end, it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. But it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right. And we're seeing that today. It's surely arriving and it's not tarrying. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up and is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. All right. So Esau, their soul, their mind, that's what your soul is, which is the spirit connected to the body, which is your thoughts, your inner man. Their thoughts are not upright in them, not righteous. They're not righteous, man. Esau, the Caucasian race, moving in the all in the name of progress. See that? Pushing their white supremacy, showed their true inner man, which was nothing but wickedness and evil. Even to this day, you have a lot of them that's not remorseful, ashamed of what they've done. All right. They feel like they had their time in the sun, their time to shine. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine through his philosophies and their paperwork, right, and their false treaties and policies and their false religions, Christianity. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, man. All right, and it didn't keep at home. Even from the Caucasus Mountains, they went all around the world. What you call Mount Seir? They went all around the world and enslaved, took over the whole earth with Alexander the Great pushing their paganism. And then when America was established, they went around what was being established with 13 colonies. They those and the Spaniards, the Spanish and the French and the Portugal, and Dutch, all them damn Edomites, they were grabbing us up and throwing us in slavery, man, and bringing us over here to the Americas. They were torturing the Native Americans and Seminoles so bad that they started dying off, and they were killing them at mass numbers because a lot of the northern tribes were fighting back. But Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, we were slaughtered. We fought back too. There was a lot of revolt, the Haitian revolt. You know, there's a lot of revolts upon the ships, and people like, I forgot the guy's name, man. I forgot his name, man. Nate, I can't remember his name offhand, man. But he led that revolt that happened in America. All right, but it's not important. Let me keep moving. So they put hell on the northern tribes so bad that they had to go get the southern kingdom, which would be Judah and Benjamin, today called Negroes and West Indians or Jamaicans. So they had to get them and bring them to the West Indies to begin to make sugar mills with the Jamaicans, and in America to start plucking cotton and other resources. All right. So it says what? He is a proud man, right? They're proud because of their riches and their wealth and their progress. But progress doesn't make you righteous. Progress doesn't make you right, man. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So Esau wanted what? White supremacy, man. Or Edomite supremacy. All right. It says, shall not all these. So that's how you had hell on earth. Because Esau had pushed their desires around the four corners of the earth, which it turned into hell, destruction. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him? Meaning all these nations around the world and the 12 tribes. and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, man. So America has laden itself with thick debt. I think it's at 20 something trillion now. All right, but really like 40 something trillion. It's up there, 70 trillion in debt. But then that they're not showing the people. So they built their dollar, and it's been valued, devalued, undervalued, manipulated. Interest rates through interest rates being raised and lowered. So it's a market manipulator, and it's in the hands of the elite bankers, or the elite, which would be called Amalek, man, the house of Esau, these damn heathens. All right, what you call the mafia, the mob, and they control it. It says, shall these not rise up suddenly, that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. So in that day, when the Lord raises up these nations for World War III, in the midst of that, the Lord's going to raise up the children of Israel, and deliver them, and give them power to tread upon their enemies after they get delivered. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high. And that's what they were doing, man. All right. They wanted their nest to be on high. Why? That he may be delivered from the power of evil. It says, so by doing that, what? It says, thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul, man. So as a people, they have sinned by attacking the children of Israel. And what it says, and by cutting off many nations, they brought shame upon this place called America. And why? For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it, man. So today we crying out, all right? And the stone is something that's put into the ground or put into the wall, you know, to make up that place. And we represent that. Just like in the kingdom, we represent the stones. So it says the beam shall out of the timber shall answer it, man. So we call out to one another. Now it says, and we call out to the heavens. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity. So America is established through iniquity, through unrighteousness, unbalance. So they built this town, built America with blood, man. So the Lord said, woe unto them. Behold, is it not Yahweh of hosts, that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity? For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yahweh, as the waters cover the earth, cover the sea. All right. And they built this town with bloodshed, and our people had to revolt and fight back. And they don't tell you that we were fighting together as a team. All right. The tribes, we came back together. And through Esau's deception, we became divided again. All right. Like today, our people are divided, except for the hopeful elect. It says, massacre of the whites. They're not white, they're red, so they're Esau, Edom. All right, and this is a documentary material, so I'm able to read this book, or these books, or these topics where it says whites, right? And then we transfer the name over to their true name, which would be Edom. massacre of the whites by the Indians and blacks in Florida. All right, so it was the northern tribe and the southern tribes fighting together. And I used to see this picture all the time growing up, and I thought it was the Haitian Revolution. But now I understand, because you can see the Seminoles right here. And this is this is what Esau has coming to them in their future. All right. See all that? That's what they got coming to them. All right. It says, what it says? To represent the buried massacre of the whites in Florida in December 1835. So that's when it happened. In winter 1835. Now today you don't know who's who. You can go around killing people, calling them white when nobody's white. You can say that's an Edomite, but really that could be children of Israel. Because even a lot of Israelites have lost their pigmentation, so we don't know who's who. All right. So it says in April 1836, when near 400, including women and children, fell victim to the barbarity of the Negroes and Indians. That's not victims. They're the these people were defending themselves, man. They were liberating themselves. The oppressor is not the victim in that case. All right. So the victim gains liberation through their rebellion. All right. But the Lord said we should be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. So the Lord wants us to fight a spiritual battle. The physical battles didn't work until Yahushua shows up. That's why the scriptures say that no man shall buy you, no man. So the Seminoles couldn't free themselves, couldn't free the Negroes, and the Negroes couldn't free the Seminoles. No man shall buy you, no man shall save you or redeem you back. But Yahushua, Yahushua, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, he's going to redeem us back to him and liberate us. All right, that's what the Lord said, woe unto them that build a town with bloodshed. All right, and that's what the U.S. Army did. All right, or Esau's army, I'll say that. And it says what? Major battles, attacks. So they had all these different battles and attacks that were happening. And it said military force. Look at all these military bases that Esau set up. And that's how they roll, man. Even today, America has bases set up all over the world in the same way. Heapeth unto himself all people. Seminole Reservation, 1827. So this was the Seminoles in 1827. And they were moved further south about 20 years later. All right. Seminole Reservation. Then a lot of them was forced to go to the west, to Oklahoma. And they didn't want to. So a lot of them revolted and some stayed here. They still there to this day. All right. Living in what you call chickies, which would be those. I'm going to show you. All right. These are called chickies. Now you had the Gadites, they made teepees. All right. So our people are like amazing, man. You know, the technology, primitive technology. Now it says chickie. All right. And this was set up because of the swamps. It would keep their umbrella. This is called the umbrella. They would keep that off the floor. All right, away from the ground, away from the mud and swamp and certain animals. And they kept it open so the breeze could go through because of the heat in the south, close to the equator, and the humidity. And then you had the umbrella, which was made out of what? Forgot what they call it down here, man. but the palm needles. All right, palm branches. All right, right here is pretty good. It says cypress wood. It was made out of cypress posts, and the Seminoles would teach the so-called Negro tribes how to cut cypress and make boats and houses, and to make these quick chickies. And that's important to know when the economy collapsed. Platform floor. So they had the platform floor, and they had a cross beam. All right, cross beam across the top. Then you had rafters, which stood up. And then you had a palm thatch overlaid, and that would catch the water and act as a shade. All right, this is a brief story of Osceola. And check this out. It says, Seminole named Osceola. I think the word Seminole just means wild man. So that's not the name of our people, man. All right, because they live out in the wild and such like that. That's what Esau called us. All right. It's a Seminole named Osceola or Osceola kept his dark eyes on the face of General Wiley Thompson. The general was speaking earnestly, a little impatiently, to the Seminole leaders. He had called together. All right, so he's speaking impatient to the leaders of the Seminoles that he called together. He was saying, fine, fertile lands await you in the western country. So he was trying to push the Seminole Indians to go west. He was deceiving them, man. So you don't believe the mouth of your enemy. All right. Smooth words. Let me get this. Psalms 55:20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him, and he hath broken his covenant. And Esau had broken his covenants against the children of Israel, and treaties. And any type of peace, our people took care of them, and they would still slaughter our people. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Yeah, man, you can go over to the west, and there's land that awaits you. That wasn't true. It was horrible. It's horrible over there on the reservations. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war is in his heart. And the war is in his mind and his soul. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, man. So his words are deception and set up to destroy you. All right. It says, he was saying, so General Wiley Thompson was saying, fine fertile lands await you in the western country. Good hunting grounds you can keep forever. The United States, they taking those lands from even till today. All right, look at the oil pipelines and all these different things, man. The United States will give you seeds, tools, and money. The Seminoles, see, they wanted to move them out of there so they can push the so-called Negroes into more slavery in the South. All right. The United States will give you seeds, tools, and money. And that's why the scriptures say, now this was mainly a curse that fell upon Judah, all right, or the southern tribes. But it fits all of our people because we were scattered. Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee. So the Lord sent Esau against us, all right. The sword, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So the Lord put a curse on our people and made us go to them for the want of all things. We wanted tools, money, all this different things, resources. You had to go to Esau. Why? Because Esau stole all the resources. So the Lord made us go to them for it. All right. So it says, the Seminoles had heard these words before. They were words of promise treaty words. All right, treaty words. Thompson called this council in 1834 to enforce the terms of two treaties that the Seminoles had already signed. All right, they would be enforced into signing it, man. These treaties would send them from their Florida homeland forever. The United States government wanted the Seminoles to move from Florida to the west. Osceola was present at this council. He was not a chief, okay, not even a lesser chief. Yet, so he wasn't a chief, and he wasn't even a lesser chief. It's just they trusted him as a leader. It says, yet, let me get this page. Yet the principal chief of the Seminole, Mycanope, all right, the Seminoles, Mycanope, there was a person, all right, principal chief of the Seminoles, all right, Mycanope, looked to him as a leader. So that the chief of the Mycanope tribe of Seminoles was looking at Osceola as a zealot or a revolutionary or a wise man, a leader. Osceola too had heard Thompson's promises before, and now his thoughts were bitter. Right, man, this place is bitter. And what does the word America mean? It means bitter. All right, so the Lord put us in hell, in a bitter place for our wickedness, man. All right, it says the white man, which would be Esau, they're not white, they're red. The Edomites want our groves of orange trees, our fine harbors, our full forests, and warm, fertile lands. But they are ours. Here are our fishes and birds and animals, the graves of our fathers, the grounds of our children. It's crazy, right? It says, legend has it that at one treaty signing, Osceola had walked boldly to the table where the treaty lay awaiting signatures. Eagerly, the Esau had pushed the quill pen toward him. Osceola did not look at it. Instead, he drew out his hunting knife. Then he plunged the knife into the treaty paper and pinned it to the rough pine table. This, he said, is the only treaty I will make with Esau or with the whites. All right. So it says, and at this council in 1834, Osceola still did not intend to agree to any terms set forth by the white man Esau. Thompson ordered him to acknowledge the former treaties, but Osceola refused. It took 4 soldiers to subdue Osceola. Wow. They put him in irons and threw him into prison, which is crazy, man. Osceola was told that he would be released, but not until he agreed to the terms of the treaties, man. And he ain't do anything wrong. He just didn't agree with Esau. But the scriptures tell you to agree with thine adversary quickly when thou be in the way with him. And that goes for us today, because their policyholder, the police, they act in the same manner. They give you a choice: sign on the paper, sign the ticket, show me your license, or you go to jail. You know? Now, even if they would agree, because the Lord was saying, hey, just agree with him, man, because you're going to perish over there anyway. But what better way to go out than standing on your 10 toes? And that's why I honor and I respect the ones that died for honor in the past. And in these days, the Lord said, we don't have to do that. We die spiritually to this world by being holy, being set apart. All right. And we sacrifice our body and our time and our life by going out and teaching. So he said that's the only covenant he'll ever make with them. All right. This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, man. And their decrees to our people were unrighteous. It was set up to destroy our people. All right. It's like saying dig your own grave, you know. And for somebody to sit there and do it is stupidity, to dig their own grave. I was watching that on what was that movie I was watching the other day? The Irishman. Pretty good movie too. All right. And he said, yo, it was just weird that these people would dig their own graves when you told them to, thinking they're gonna get some type of reward or something. Or, you know, he said they would actually do it and think if they dig their grave, that the person with the gun would have mercy on them. See that? And that's how Esau is. A lot of our people thought that if we followed after Esau's unrighteous decrees, then he would be what? Merciful to us. All right. And he put himself in the position of God. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness. So they write it, right? Which they have prescribed, man. So they write up their own laws, their own entrapments to our people, contracts. All right. Now it says, or correspondence, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's what Esau has done. Even 2/3 of our people were doing that, but this is focusing on Esau. And what will ye do in the day of visitation and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory? So America is not going to be able to flee to any other country for help. Not to Europe, not to NATO, not to Russia, China, nowhere. Not to the Most High, not to anybody, man. All right. So the Lord said, what shall you do in the day of your visitation? This is Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, man. So everything that your forefathers did to the Seminole Indians, to the Gadites, to the children of Israel, for touching the apple of the Lord's eye, it says what? Prepare slaughter. So he's talking to the angels, talking to the nations on the earth, the children of Israel, the spirit. All right. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. And that's what they've been doing. Progress. Filling the face of the world with cities ever since they came out of the pit. Well, actually, ever since Alexander. All right. Well, the Macedonians and the Greeks and the Romans back in the 6th century BC. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith Yahweh. So any Edomites and 2/3 of our own people and these the rest of these heathens, if your feet are on the soils of America, the Lord has a destruction for you. The Lord is going to judge you. All right. He says, what? I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith Yahweh of hosts. It says, Yahweh of hosts, of armies, have sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand.